Alongside Dennis Bernstein and Shane Kelly, I'm Irfaan Gaffar here with the fourth period, and we call this segment Dirty Data. Gentlemen, let's jump right into this. And DB, we'll start with you and a team that you cover obviously very closely over there in LA, and a team that you saw score a lot of goals the other night, and that's the LA Kings.
Yeah, it's been an eventful 36 hours here. They lose 9-8. I've never seen a 9-8 game. I've never seen a game, not even a 9-8, 8-6 after two periods. I've never seen it. There's a lot to work on in Los Angeles with respect to keeping the puck out of the net. And as people know, Cal Peterson on waivers. Usually players improve in the AHL, Shane. I mean, that's what happens. You go down there, you get some wins, come back. So his days are not finished in Los Angeles, but they won't be in Los Angeles. They'll be with the affiliate in Ontario, at least for the present time. But that's not the only challenge with this team. They are poor with respect to decision-making in their own zone. They fly the zone a lot because I think the pressure, and Shane can talk about this, the pressure of here, you need to score offense. You need more offense. This team needs more offense. They couldn't score last season. Their goal differential was +3. That mentality was ingrained in a lot of the forwards, and they're blowing the zone and not really committing to helping out the defense. So it's been a very big challenge, not just from defensively. I asked Todd McClellan this, and it's a final point I'll make. Before the Rangers game about 2 weeks ago, I asked him what team was going to show up that night. The one that plays 6-5 games or 9-8 games, or the ones that play 3-1 games. And Todd said that he didn't know. So if the coach doesn't know, how are we supposed to know? So it's a big-time challenge right now in Los Angeles.
Yeah, to me, the goaltending was a huge question coming into the season. Quick had a bit of a bounce back year last year, but the one thing we know about aging curves is that you don't decline linearly. It's not as if every year you get older, over 30, all of a sudden you're a slightly worse player. I mean, you can have years in your mid-30s where for whatever reason you pop off and have one of the best years of your career. That doesn't mean, though, that you've figured everything out and all of a sudden you're back to 28-year-old Jonathan Quick. And Peterson is another guy who kind of had a lot of questions coming into the season. He was pretty good last year by the numbers, but not amazing. So this was a tandem that to me was ripe for regression, and that's exactly what we're seeing. In the past month, they've been one of the worst goaltending pairs in the league. Bottom 10 in high danger save percentage, bottom 10 in low danger save percentage, bottom 10 in goals saved above expected. So there's nothing in there that goes, oh yeah, this is a group that if they just hold out a little bit longer, the goaltending is going to rebound. I don't know what they do back there, but they need another answer because these two just aren't cutting it. And then with the forwards, I think you're seeing something interesting in the numbers in that they produce a lot of scoring chances. But to DB's point, they don't score a lot of goals. So one of two things is going to happen. Either the puck luck is going to come back and they're going to start scoring more goals, or you start to wonder, okay, is this a group that's very good at creating a lot, but just doesn't have a lot of finishing skill? And I don't think we know the answer to that yet. Fiala last year was a shot monster. Kempe was a shot monster, two of the top 5 in the league, I think, in shot attempts. But they weren't amazing goal scorers. They were good, but they weren't amazing. And then the rest of the lineup, I don't see anybody, especially among the young guys, who was really highly touted coming out as a scorer where you can say, okay, we have a prior here that says, oh, this guy was a sniper in junior. I don't think that player is on the roster, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with this group here.
From one beach on one coast to the beach of Sunrise, Florida. Dennis, we'll begin with you and the Florida Panthers. And really, what are the Florida Panthers at this point in the season right now?
I think they're like the Kings. I don't think we know at this point. I will tell you one thing, though. I get the trades, and Chucky's been great coming in. They really miss Mackenzie Weegar. Like that guy, when you look at this, how they play defensively, and I know Knight's been better than Bob, but I don't know. And this team's won 10 of 23 games. So new system, new coach, new significant players. It's taken a time, and they have not gelled at this point in time. So that's the concern. Now, do I think they're talented enough to be in the top 8? I do. But I guess Shane can talk to the underlying numbers. They have been underwhelming. They really have been, and they've lost leads. Maybe they're going the route of the Tampa Bay Lightning, saying, okay, the regular season really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we finish. Let's get in the top 8. But this team needs to gel. They have not gelled, and they're one of the more disappointing teams based on the record for me so far this season.
I think losing Ekblad was big here, too. Yeah. It's hard to separate what has happened from their best defenseman and one of the best defensemen in the league being out. The rest, as you point out, DB, the rest of this defensive core is not great. I think Uyghur was perennially underrated when he was in Florida. All of his advanced stats said he was kind of a top 10 defenseman in the league. And maybe that's, overstating things a little bit. But to take somebody that good out of the lineup and not really replace them, to me, there's a lot more questions to this group coming into the season than I think people might have expected for a team that played as well as they did last year. I think, like you said, that they have a chance to make top 8 here, but it's not a sure thing. The forward group is probably going to have to carry them more than they have. And if they aren't able to pick the power play up, especially, which has been kind of anemic, I don't know that it's a walk in the park to make it. Like they're on the bubble there. Detroit's improved a lot. Tampa is back to playing like Tampa is capable of. This is not going to be something where the underlying numbers agree. This is not something where they're going to waltz in. Just wait a few more weeks.
Shane, just very quickly on the Florida Panthers, do the numbers suggest that this team has the ability to go and do that and make a run?
Yes, for the most part, they've still controlled the play. They've still created more scoring chances than they've given up, but it's on that borderline of being, like 51% to 49, and a true contender is usually 55 and above. So it's not like they are waxing teams, and we're just not seeing it come up on the on the score sheet. They're a margin team right now, and unless something changes, the margins could break the wrong way for them.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for this. I think I'm one, and there's also a few of us that had the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. So talk to me in June. As always, a pleasure with you two, and this was Dirty Data here on the fourth period.